would it really take for a star like LeBron James to take a pay cut this summer? What kind of financial breathing room would that create for the front office? And how could it reshape the team's chances of making serious moves in free agency? These are the kinds of questions fans, analysts, and even other players are asking as the offseason approaches and all eyes turn toward roster building strategy. So if you've been looking for a clear breakdown of the Lakers' salary cap outlook, heading into the 2025-2026 season, you're in the right place. Today we're diving deep into the numbers, laying out the scenarios, and unpacking the tough decisions that could make or break this team's summer. Now, before we get into specifics, it's important to establish that most of the figures discussed today are projections, reasonable estimates drawn from reliable sources and salary cap models. We're going to start by exploring a scenario in which LeBron James actually does take a pay cut, even though some reports suggest that's unlikely at the moment. But hey, off-season dynamics shift quickly. One conversation, one trade, or one commitment from another star can change everything. So let's break this all down, assuming that LeBron is open to renegotiating. The Lakers, like many contenders, are in a tight spot financially. They're trying to upgrade their roster, stay competitive in a brutal Western Conference, and keep their two biggest stars satisfied, all while navigating a salary cap landscape that's becoming more complex with each passing year. This video isn't just about who the Lakers might sign, it's about how they can sign anyone at all without running into those brutal luxury tax penalties or hard cap restrictions. We're going to focus on free agent signings, not trades. That's a conversation for another video. Right now, we're zeroed in on salary cap space, exceptions, and what it would realistically take to maximize roster flexibility this summer. Let's begin by taking a look at the Lakers' current salary cap sheet heading into the 2025 season. The top 4 contracts on the roster take up a massive chunk of the payroll. Some of those deals are player options, others are non-guaranteed. For the sake of this scenario, let's assume all 4 of those players opt in or get retained. That gives us a foundation to work with. Additionally, there's a second-round pick factored into the equation, which comes with a low salary hit and fits the team's strategy of finding low-cost talent to surround their core stars. Altogether, the team has about 13 players currently under contract, and the projected payroll sits at around $192.6 million. That number is crucial because it tells us where the Lakers stand in relation to 3 key financial markers: the luxury tax line, the first apron, and the second apron. These are the thresholds that determine what kinds of moves a team can make and which tools they can use to sign players. The luxury tax line for next season is estimated at $187.8 million. The first apron is projected at $195.9 million, and the second apron sits up at $223.7 million. Right now, the Lakers are roughly $3.3 million under the first apron. That's an important zone to be in. Over the tax line, yes, but still below that first apron, which triggers harsher restrictions if crossed. Why does that matter? Because the league limits the types of exceptions a team can use depending on which threshold they've crossed. In the Lakers' case, staying below the first apron means they have access to the taxpayer mid-level exception. That's $5.2. $6 million, but if they want to unlock the more valuable non-taxpayer mid-level exception, worth $14.1 million, they'll need to drop their total payroll below the first apron entirely. That's the goal. Now here's the catch. If the Lakers use the taxpayer mid-level and go over the first apron, they are hard capped at the second apron. That limits flexibility. If they can somehow get under the first apron, they not only open up the non-taxpayer exception, but also unlock the biannual exception. That's another $5.1 million. Plus they avoid being locked into that second apron hard cap. These tools are vital when trying to build depth in the offseason, especially when chasing veteran role players or emerging contributors. So how do they do it? How do they get under the first apron and gain access to these tools? Well, that's where the concept of a LeBron James pay cut comes into play. If LeBron opts out of his current deal, which would pay him approximately $53.6 million, and re-signs for a smaller number, say $40 million, that creates over $13 million in space, that might be just enough to slide under the apron and gain access to the non-taxpayer exception and the BAE. To visualize this, let's say they fill out a 15-man roster. Right now, without LeBron's new deal accounted for, they sit at about $156.7 million. The first apron is $195.9 million. That leaves about $39.2 million in available space before hitting that limit. If LeBron signs for $40 million, they're just barely over. So the team would need to trim elsewhere, maybe by waiving a non-guaranteed deal or moving a bench player to make it all work. Alternatively, if they cut or waive a player making around $3 million and LeBron signs for $39 million, they might just squeeze in under the line. That unlocks the full non-taxpayer MLE. But we're not done. Remember, if they also want to use the biannual exception, they'll need even more room. So maybe LeBron signs for $37 million. That's a $16 million pay cut. It's steep, but in this scenario, it gives the Lakers a shot at landing 2 mid-tier free agents instead of 1, which could make a major difference come playoff time. So the question becomes, would LeBron actually take that big of a cut? That's a tough one. But if the front office presents him with a clear plan, say, hey, take less now and we'll bring in Brook Lopez and Nickel Alexander-Walker to build out this roster, maybe he's willing to make that sacrifice for a shot at one more title, especially if he believes those pieces fit alongside him and Anthony Davis. Let's say the Lakers go that route. They split the non-taxpayer mid-level into 2 deals, $7 million for Brook Lopez, $7 million for Alexander Walker. They add a veteran minimum contract for someone like Dante Exum, who already has chemistry with the team and brings much-needed perimeter defense. With that structure, the Lakers would land at about $195.8 million, just under the first apron. It's clean, it's legal, and it might just be the best roster they've had around LeBron in years. Of course, there's always a wild card. What if Dorian Finney-Smith, DFS, decides not to pick up his player option and walks away in free agency? That would free up additional space. In that case, the Lakers could use the full non-taxpayer MLE without even needing LeBron to take a discount. He could opt in at full salary and they'd still be under the first apron. That scenario creates flexibility. And it also raises the question of whether the front office even wants to retain DFS at his projected salary. There's also the trade angle. We're not getting into full trade hypotheticals today, but just to tease it, moving contracts like Gabe Vincent or Maxi Kleber, possibly packaging them with draft picks, could be a path to bringing in a starting caliber big like Nick Claxton. In that case, you'd still need LeBron to take a cut, but the result is a retooled roster with upgraded defense and interior presence. That's huge. All of this depends on timing, cooperation, and a bit of luck. LeBron has to be willing, the front office has to execute, and the market has to play out in a way that makes these signings realistic. But from a numbers standpoint, it's possible. The cap math checks out. If the Lakers want to open up their full non-taxpayer MLE and biannual exception, get creative with minimums, and land at 15 players under the first apron, it all hinges on LeBron sacrificing somewhere between $10 to $16 million. Is that fair to ask of a player who's still one of the most impactful stars in the league? Probably not. But is it the kind of decision that could separate a play-in disappointment from a conference finalist? Absolutely. This is the financial puzzle the Lakers are trying to solve. Maximize every dollar. Stay under the key thresholds. Use the tools available and convince their cornerstone star to buy in. Literally. Now let's shift gears a bit and take a look at what might be the most intriguing scenario of all. The perfect storm for the Lakers offseason. Picture this. LeBron James agrees to a restructured deal, sacrificing about $13 million from his original salary and signing for $40 million. Dorian Finney-Smith returns on a new 3-year contract that starts at $14 million. At the same time, the front office pulls off a strategic trade that sends out Gabe Vincent and Maxi Kleber, clearing enough salary to bring in a highly impactful big like Nick Claxton. That move alone transforms the defensive backbone of the team and gives them a player with size, athleticism, and switchability. Something this roster has been craving. Let's go even further. With LeBron's pay cut in place, the Lakers unlock the full non-taxpayer mid-level exception of $14.1 million and choose to split it into 2 separate contracts. In this ideal version, they sign Brook Lopez and Nickel Alexander-Walker, each for $7 million. That gives them a rim protector who can stretch the floor and a tough perimeter defender who can help take pressure off LeBron and Anthony Davis on the defensive end. It's the kind of savvy spending that championship teams need, not always swinging for the biggest name, but instead grabbing high IQ veterans who know their roles and fit within the system. To round things out, the team uses a veteran minimum contract to bring back Dante Exum, who's quietly rebuilt his value over the past couple of seasons and has strong on-court chemistry with Luka Doncic, chemistry that can carry over into this new group. Exum brings size, length, and versatility to the backcourt rotation, and he knows how to stay in his lane. He's the type of role player every contender wants coming off the bench. This version of the Lakers would be drastically different from last season's squad, deeper, more balanced, and finally equipped with the kind of lineup flexibility that allows Darvin Ham to go big, go small, defend, shoot, and most importantly, rest LeBron without watching the lead evaporate. In total, we'd be looking at a 14-man roster sitting just under the first apron, roughly $195.8 million in salary commitments. Just barely under the limit, but within legal range, which is all that matters. When it comes to cap rules, it's a bold plan, no doubt. And sure, some of the signings would require convincing you need Brook Lopez to take less than what he might find elsewhere. And you'd have to believe that Nickeil Alexander-Walker would see the Lakers as a place where his game could grow and get national attention. But given the way recent off-seasons have played out, with more and more players getting squeezed in a crowded market, the idea of landing useful veterans at mid-level values isn't as far-fetched as it used to be. Of course, all of this hinges on LeBron's willingness to take a financial hit. And that's where things get tricky. He's earned the right to prioritize his value, and there's no shame in that. But if he's focused on adding one more ring before walking away from the game, this is the kind of calculated risk that could pay off in a big way. He's already sacrificed in the past. He's already taken less in Miami to form a super team. Doing it one more time at this stage of his career would be a powerful message to the front office, the locker room, and the fan base. I'm all in. And if it works, if the roster comes together the way it could on paper, the Lakers might just find themselves right back in the hunt. Deeper, smarter, tougher. Not just built for highlight reels, but built for June. That's the vision. Whether it becomes reality is another question. But one thing's for sure, the path is there. And for the first time in a long time, it feels like all the pieces are within reach. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NBA, the Los Angeles Lakers have secured a major new addition to their roster. Michael Porter Jr., the versatile forward known for his scoring ability and impressive wingspan, has signed with the Lakers, further strengthening their already potent lineup. The 25-year-old arrives in Los Angeles after several successful seasons with the Denver Nuggets, where he played a pivotal role in the team's offensive success. This new chapter for Porter comes at a time when the Lakers are aiming to solidify their championship aspirations for the upcoming season. Porter, who was drafted by the Nuggets as the 14th overall pick in the 2018 NBA draft, has always been a player with immense potential. His journey to NBA stardom, however, has been anything but straightforward. Early in his career, Porter faced a series of challenges, including back surgeries that delayed his development. Despite these setbacks, his talent was undeniable. As he found his footing in Denver, Porter quickly became known for his exceptional scoring ability, particularly as a shooter. Standing at 6'10" with a smooth shooting stroke, he can score from anywhere on the floor, whether it be in transition, from deep, or in mid-range situations. His ability to stretch the floor is a valuable asset, especially in today's NBA, where spacing and shooting are critical components of team success. During his time with the Nuggets, Porter played a key role in their deep playoff runs, including their memorable 2020 Western Conference Finals appearance. His scoring prowess, combined with his ability to rebound and defend, made him a valuable asset on both ends of the court. In the 2022-23 season, Porter averaged 17.4 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 1.1 assists per game, shooting an impressive 44.7% from three-point range. These numbers reflect his growth and development as a reliable contributor at a high level, and the Lakers are undoubtedly hoping that he can continue that trajectory in Los Angeles. The addition of Porter to the Lakers roster is a significant move in the team's quest for another NBA championship. The Lakers, who boast a roster already featuring LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the recently acquired D'Angelo Russell, now have another dynamic piece to add to their puzzle. Porter's shooting and scoring ability will complement the Lakers' need for offensive firepower, particularly when teams look to focus their defensive efforts on LeBron and Davis. Furthermore, his length and athleticism add a new dimension to their defense, making him a threat both on the perimeter and in the paint. While the Lakers have made significant strides in reshaping their roster this offseason, it remains to be seen how well Porter will mesh with the team's current dynamics. Head coach Darvin Ham will be tasked with integrating Porter into a system that thrives on ball movement and defensive intensity. However, given Porter's experience and skill set, he is expected to be a seamless fit alongside the Lakers' established stars. Off the court, Porter's personality and work ethic have been praised by teammates and coaches alike. Known for his professionalism and focus, he brings a level of maturity that will undoubtedly help the Lakers as they push for an NBA title. His ability to adapt to various roles, whether as a primary scorer or a secondary option, gives the Lakers the flexibility they need to adjust to different matchups throughout the season. The Lakers have long been a team built on championship aspirations, and with the addition of Michael Porter Jr., they have once again positioned themselves as a title contender. As the 2025 season approaches, fans and analysts alike will be watching closely to see how this new addition impacts the team's pursuit of glory. With a healthy and motivated roster, the Lakers are certainly a team to watch in the upcoming NBA campaign. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.